Welcome back to A Better Choice Homestead, where on my channel, I focus on food, growing it, preparing it, and preserving it. Today, I am sharing my December Azure order. And once again, I did not have to get a ton of things because I am pretty well stocked. If you saw my pantry video, you know that I've spent the last 3 years building that up for self-reliance, self-sufficiency, emergencies, and it's pretty well stocked. So I didn't need a lot, but I'm gonna walk you through what I did get, and we're gonna start with the cherries that I was so excited about getting in December. I did pick some up in November. They only have them for, a relatively small window every year. But I had to put them back. I did not order them because I was out of town the week of my December pickup. I was out of town that entire week for work. That was a last minute thing. So I was gone Monday through Friday, and the pickup happened to be on a Tuesday. So luckily I have an amazing drop coordinator, and she really does try to work with the group if you're not able to, be there for pickup. So I gave her a call and asked if she wouldn't mind if she had room to store my stuff until I could pick it up late on Friday. She said yes, but she only had a very limited amount of freezer space available. So there was something I needed versus the cherries, which I wanted. So I did not get the cherries, but they are in my cart for January. Fingers crossed they still have them when that order is pulled. But let's go over what I did get. For starters, I got a large flat of pumpkin puree. This is 12 cans of 29-ounce pumpkin puree, and it is organic. This was $34.28. If I were to buy this locally, I could only get it in the 15-ounce can at $2.49 a can. So if we double that to get 30 ounces, it comes out to $59.76 to get this much organic pumpkin puree. This is the Azure Market brand. It is lovely. And so that saved me $25.48 buying it at Azure versus buying it locally. I know that I tried to preserve a year's worth of pumpkin this year, and I showed that on a video, but I just wasn't able to fit in getting more pumpkins. So I'm putting this on my shelf. I use this in cooking, I use this in baking, and I use this in my dog food. Pumpkin is amazing for you. It has so many nutrients in it that we need to stay healthy. So I try to incorporate pumpkin wherever I can. Next, I got my box of 1-gallon glass jars that I use for my short-term storage of freeze-dried goods. And they have been out of stock on these for a little bit, so I'm really happy that they are back in stock. However, their lids are now showing out of stock long term. So I only picked up 4 jars because that's how many extra lids I have. And so this is what they look like. It's a beautiful container just to store freeze-dried staples that I use within a 12-month period of time. So long-term storage of my freeze-dried goods is put into Mylar and then into totes, but the stuff that I'm going to use throughout the year goes in glass. Now, I can get glass jars on Amazon, not locally, but on Amazon, and I can get a 4-pack of these jars with the lids for $40.99. So I'm gonna back out the $4.98 that I spend on lids when Azure has them in stock, which drops the Amazon price to $36.09. But I paid $18.77 for these, so that saved me $17.32 buying my glass jars from Azure. Next in this box, I believe this is my frozen goods that I had to make a choice for the cherries on. And these are beets. So beets I use a lot in my dog food and in cooking as well. And while I do pickle beets, and I have shown pickle beets, then freeze-dried, and pickle beets, then dehydrated, which by the way is a phenomenal snack, absolutely delicious. I like to have non-pickled options as well. So this is 20 pounds of diced beets. They're still frozen at this point, but they are lovely. So I will use these in dog food, I will use these in people food, and I will be freeze drying these. These were $44.92 for 20 pounds of organic diced beets, which puts them at $2.25 a pound. I can get organic beets locally. They're about $6 a pound. They're fresh, so I would still then have to peel them and dice them and do all that work. But if I was willing to do that, I could pay $120 at my grocery store to get 20 pounds of beets. So by buying these at Azure for $44.92, I save $75.08 buying them already prepped and ready for my freeze dryer, which will be for both near-term and long-term storage. So this was a deal. And I do buy whole beets from Azure as well. That's what I did the videos on for the pickling of and for the freeze drying and the dehydrating of, and they're absolutely amazing. The beets are huge, they're organic, they're gorgeous. This just saves me time and energy having them this way, especially if I don't plan on pickling them. Now in this box, it looks like my drop coordinator opened it just to make sure there was nothing in here frozen, because it does say raspberries on the box. But these guys are just major packers, master packers at Azure, trying to reduce your footprint as much as possible. So there's just gonna be a mix of things in this bag or in this box. I went ahead and I got more e-cloths. I am absolutely in love with these. I did pick some up locally to put them in the apartment downstairs. They work beautifully. They're just amazing. I love these. These are so good for cleaning. You don't even have to use cleansers. You can just use water. The way that these are made, it just picks up your grease, your grime, your dirt, everything. But you also can use cleansers if you want to. So this is the window cleaning kit. It has two cloths in here, one for actually cleaning the window and then one for polishing the window. I have separate just polishing cloths, which work beautifully, but sometimes in the bathroom, you're getting toothpaste or other things on the mirror, and sometimes having the little scrub option helps as well. So this is the window cleaning cloth, and this is the 2-pack. So I paid $13.63 for this at Azure. I could buy that locally at my Wegmans grocery store. It would cost me $19.99, so I saved $6.36 buying this from Azure. Next up, I got the eCloth kitchen cloth. So this is just a really good for your sinks, your countertops, any of your work prep surfaces. This has the 3-year promise that it'll last 3 years, running it through up to 300 loads cycles in the washing machine and the dryer. So they've got the microfibers that are split on a microscopic level to break up and remove grease, dirt, and bacteria. These are just a godsend to have. I throw them in the wash as they get dirty, and then I don't have to worry about sponges, which, they just hold all of that nastiness inside of them. So I like having these, and I can just throw them in the wash every couple days, or, whenever it gets dirty. The kitchen e-cloth was $7.26. I can also buy this exact same thing locally for $7.99. So I saved 73 cents buying this from Azure. I also picked up their range and stovetop cloth. This is one that I did buy locally for the apartment downstairs, and this is amazing. The little stripes on here, the darker blue, they really scrub, and I found that these actually work phenomenal on the floor downstairs if it gets something sticky or grimy on the floor that you really need to scrub. It is the luxury vinyl plank flooring, and you don't want to ruin that floor by scraping too hard with something sharp. This picked everything up when I went down there and used it. So I picked another one of these up because it also works really well on a glass top range, which we have downstairs, and it can also work on my stovetop as well. And the stove and range cloth I cannot get locally. but I paid $7.26 for it at Azure, and if I were to buy it on Amazon, it would have cost $10.59. So I saved $3.33 buying this from Azure. All right, next I got a couple of specialty cheeses. I just wanted to give these a try. I love mushrooms and I like cheese. So I saw this, it was on sale, and I thought I'm gonna give that a try. So this is the Baby Bella Mushroom Creamy Jack Cheese, and I think that this is going to be amazing. I will probably use this in some appetizers for the holiday, maybe even in some stuffed mushrooms. I can't wait to try this. This is a Sierra Nevada brand, and it is organic. These were $7.96 total. They're not available locally, so I'm just calling that a wash. I can't get these locally, so I'm not going to be able to compare them. So we're just calling that a wash, but I cannot wait to try these. They look like they're going to be delicious. And these are 6 ounces each, so 12 ounces in total. Next, I got 2 5-pound bags of organic yellow potatoes. This will be for holiday cooking. These were $16.50 total for both of these, and I can get yellow organic potatoes locally here at my Wegmans grocery store, but they are $2.16 a pound. So to get 10 pounds, it would have cost me $21.60. So I saved $5.10 buying these from Azure. And I love that they are, a smaller potato. These would be really good in kind of a potato gratin, or just roasted on a pan with some vegetables and some meat. So these are going to be absolutely delicious. They're going to be so tender and tasty. And next I got 2 5-pound bags of organic russet potatoes. Total, this cost me $13.90. I can get organic russet potatoes locally at my Wegmans grocery store. They're $1.83 a pound, so 10 pounds would have been $18.20. So I saved $4.40 buying those at Azure. They're not huge, they're a smaller potato. They're not your huge baking potatoes, but we don't usually do too many baked potatoes. I can't even think of the last year I made an actual baked potato. So usually we do mashed, and that will be what these are for. We'll make mashed potatoes with our roast beef for Christmas dinner. In the same box here, we've got the sales flyer. I think this is where I saw the cheese on sale. So they do send a flyer with your order that just, gives you information on some of the products that they're featuring, the sale items, even some recipes are in here. So you do get a flyer. This one is for January 2025 because that will be the next possible order to place. I also got some lavender essential oil. This is organic. And I'm going to be using this in some of the products that I am going to make here as soon as I get a free minute, with the yarrow, the calendula, and the comfrey that I freeze dried. So this is 1 ounce of Biomed Balance organic lavender oil, and this was $12.02. I can get this locally at Wegmans, but not in the organic form. It's $9.99 for half an ounce, so a full ounce would be $19.98. So I saved $7.96 buying this from Azure, and even more so than that, because what I can get locally is not organic. I also got more of my avocado oil. I love this as a high smoke point cooking oil. It's so healthy for you, and I know I've shown this before, but I have about maybe a quarter of a bottle left, so I needed to get a new one. This is 32 ounces. It was $17.88. I can get avocado oil locally, but I cannot get organic, so this is Azure Organic. avocado oil locally, but what I can get is non-organic is 83 cents an ounce. So to get 32 ounces, it would have been $26.56. So I saved $8.68 buying this from Azure. And next, I have organic vegetable glycerin. This is food grade. This is going to be used again in my products that I will be making from some of the freeze-dried herbs and flowers that I made this year. And glycerin is an ingredient that you can use to make soaps, lotions, lip gloss, toothpaste, or even an alcohol-free tincture. So I really needed to get some of this so that I can move forward with my homemade beauty and healthcare products. That's what this is going to be used for. And that's the end of that box. These last two boxes are canning jars. These are just quart-sized canning jars. They are the Azure brand. I just needed some more because I'm always running out and having to put off getting some canning projects done. So these are not Ball, these are Azure. They've got their name on them right here, and they're just a lovely little jar. You know, they're just a canning jar. They don't come with lids. But I was able to get 2 boxes of these, so 24 jars in all, and I paid $35.14 for 24 jars. I can get canning jars locally for $17.49 per 12 or $34.98 total. So I paid 16 cents more getting these from Azure than from the grocery store. So in all this month, I spent $257.42 at Azure, and that included $20.17 for shipping this month. But when we total up everything that I saved, including backing out that 16 cents that I paid more for these canning jars, I saved $156.53. And when we minus the $20.17 for shipping, I saved $136.36. That's amazing. So this is all stuff I want. This is all stuff that I use. It's organic. It's exactly what I want. And I saved a ton of money this month. Who doesn't want to save money, especially right before the holiday? So I am thrilled with my order this month, minus the fact that I didn't get my cherries, but hopefully I will get them in January. So if you've watched any of my Azure haul videos, you know that I love Azure Standard. They're a wonderful company. They work as a co-op. They are so easy to do business with. If you are interested, I think I'll put a link in the description of the video to Azure. And the first thing that you do on there is you just set up an account. That doesn't cost anything. You just get your information in there as well as your payment method, and then you have to choose a drop. So Azure does once a month orders. They load your order onto a truck based on the drop that you pick. Then they ship that to your drop. You show up the day and the time of your drop. You help unload the truck. You're on the ground, you're not on the truck, but the driver hands you down the packages as a group, and as a group, you know, you distribute them. However your drop coordinator does that. My drop coordinator puts our names on the back of canning lids, and then she just puts those in first name alphabetical order along the side of the truck. So as they come off, we read on the box the name, and then we drop it in front of that name, and then when the truck is unloaded, we grab our stuff and we leave. That whole process takes 10 to 15 minutes. It's super quick. My drop happens to be just a couple miles down the road from my house. It's at a church. It is super convenient. I don't have to spend time at the grocery store walking, you know, up and down the aisles and grabbing things. I spend 15 minutes helping unload a truck and then taking my stuff and going home. So you pick a drop. They have so many now. I joined Azure, I think 3 years ago now, just coming up on 3 years. I think December 3 years ago is when I joined. And there were not many options locally for me here. And in fact, I used to be part of another drop, but we got kicked out because it was at a truck stop and people were bringing their kids and their kids running around. So they kicked us out. Luckily, another drop had already popped up that was even closer to me. And now when you look at the map, there are drops everywhere. They are all over. So wherever you are in the United States, you're likely going to find a drop very, very close to you. So you pick a drop, and that's the drop you're associated with. You can pick more than one drop if you'd like. And then you have a month to put items in your cart and place your order. And then you choose the month that you want the drop for. So for example, I could put items in my cart right now, which is December, and I could say that I wanted to pick them up in February. So February would be my next pickup. The benefit of doing that is you get the price today. So if it was on sale now, you could order it now, but not even pick it up until February. And you don't pay for it until the truck is loaded. So you check out once a month by the cutoff day for the drop, and then they load the truck, and then they charge your card. So that way, if they had run out of something that didn't make it onto the truck, you would not be charged for that. And their customer service is amazing. So if you order something that you expected to be in good condition that was fresh, like apricots or apples or pears or something like that, and it came damaged or unedible, you just give them a call, and then they credit your account. They're super easy to work with, so there's really no risk, and there is a lot of reward. They have amazing products, a huge selection, and their prices are outstanding, as you can see. I mean, I wanted and needed all of these things, and I saved $136.36 even after paying for shipping. So I can't say enough good things about Azure. I hope you give them a try. Thank you so much for joining me for another Azure haul. My name is Kelly, you're at Better Choice Homestead, and I do hope you come back and visit again soon.